The night was cold. Rain poured like the sky was grieving. A little girl pressed her face against the foggy window of her father's pickup truck and whispered, "Daddy, why is that lady crying all alone?" He looked out, and in that moment, standing in the rain outside the closed pharmacy, was a woman in scrubs, soaked, shaking, clutching a bag like it was all she had left in the world. He didn't know her, but fate had just tied their stories together. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Kindness Talks, where every story reminds us that compassion still exists, and one act of kindness can change everything. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, share with someone who needs hope today. David Parker had learned how to rebuild things with his hands, with patience. A widowed carpenter in a small town in North Carolina, David raised his 7-year-old daughter Emily with quiet strength. Life wasn't perfect. Money was tight. But they had each other, and a little house filled with drawings, wooden toys, and warm memories. One night, while driving home from a late delivery of a handcrafted bench, he stopped by the 24-hour pharmacy to grab Emily's asthma inhaler refill. It was already past 11 p.m., and Emily was dozing off in the back seat. That's when Emily saw her. A young woman sat hunched on the pharmacy steps, soaked through in her nurse's uniform, her backpack clutched to her chest like it carried a lifetime. Her face was pale, lips quivering from the cold, but more than that, her eyes looked like someone who'd lost their anchor in the world. "Daddy, is she okay?" David hesitated, then pulled the truck over. He stepped out, the rain hitting his face like needles. "Ma'am," he called gently. "Are you all right?" The woman didn't look up at first. Her hands gripped her bag tighter. "I'm fine," she whispered, though she was anything but. David didn't push. "I'm David. That's my daughter Emily in the truck. She's worried about you." That made her lift her head. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to worry anyone." She wiped her face quickly. "I'll go." But her knees buckled slightly as she stood. David stepped forward. "Listen, I'm not here to judge. I know what it's like to hit bottom. If you need a ride, a warm place, just to sit and breathe in our house isn't far." She looked at him, hesitant. For a long moment, silence hung. Then she nodded once. "I'm Claire," she said. "Claire Turner." That night, Claire sat at David's modest kitchen table, sipping warm tea while Emily brought her a towel and a blanket. She was hesitant, but grateful. And when David asked what happened, Claire hesitated, then broke. Her story poured out. Just 4 months ago, she was working full-time as a nurse at a city hospital. She had a fiancé, a shared apartment, and plans to go back for her nursing master's. But then, her mother got sick. Cancer. Stage 4. Claire took leave, maxed out her savings, and moved her mom into hospice care. Her fiancé said it was too much. He left. Then her mother passed away 2 weeks ago. The hospital had filled her position. Rent piled up. And when she finally tried returning to the city for work, someone stole her backpack. Inside it, everything. ID, nursing license copy, job letters. She came to this town for a job lead, only to be told the position was filled just an hour before she arrived. No money, no job, no home. Just a backpack with scrubs, one change of clothes, and her mother's rosary. "I have nothing left," she whispered. "Except hope. And that's wearing thin." David didn't speak immediately. But Emily climbed into Claire's lap and said softly, "You have us now." That night, Claire cried for the first time, not from grief, but from a strange comfort. It wasn't a solution, but it was a beginning. Over the next few days, Claire stayed in the guest room. David didn't pry. Emily treated Claire like family from day one, asking her to help with homework, watch cartoons, and brush her hair like a big sister. And slowly, Claire began to breathe again. David saw how kind she was. She helped clean the house, cook dinner, and even started assisting Emily with her schoolwork. She was clearly educated, responsible, and warm. But more than anything, he saw how broken she still was. One evening, he found her outside on the porch, staring at her mother's rosary, tears rolling silently down her cheeks. He sat beside her, sharing his own pain, the night his wife passed during childbirth, how he had held on to Emily like a lifeline. How grief never leaves, it just grows a softer place to sit. "You don't have to carry it alone," he said gently. Claire finally let herself fall into someone's arms. The next morning, David made a call to his childhood friend Maggie, head of the local clinic. She was hesitant at first, but after meeting Claire, seeing her credentials and the gentle way she handled a child in the waiting room, she offered her a temporary position as assistant nurse. Claire worked hard, slowly rebuilding. She saved money, applied for new certifications, and began volunteering on weekends at the retirement home. The town started noticing her. She wasn't just some woman who cried in the rain anymore. She was the nurse who held your mom's hand when no one else was there, the young woman who brought muffins to the receptionist on her day off, the one who treated each patient with a tenderness that could only come from personal loss. And all the while, David found himself quietly watching her, not out of curiosity, but admiration. She was strong, broken, healing, and she was becoming something beautiful again. But Claire wasn't the only one healing. David, who had shut his heart after his wife's death, began laughing again, cooking again, dreaming again. One night, while fixing a broken fence together, Claire looked up and asked softly, "Why did you help me that night?" David thought for a second, then smiled. "Because I saw someone who reminded me what it means to fight when you've got nothing left. And because Emily believes angels sometimes wear scrubs." They both laughed. But the truth hung between them, unspoken. Spring arrived, and with it, Claire's official rehire letter from the city hospital. It was her old job, better pay, better benefits. Her license was reissued, and her life, finally, had a path again. But it meant leaving. She stood with the letter in her hands, her heart torn. The rain fell outside, soft and familiar. David saw her standing in the kitchen, quiet. "You should go," he said softly. "You earned it." "But I'll miss you both," she said, her voice trembling. Emily ran over, hugging her tight. "Are we still family even if you're far away?" Claire bent down. "Always." But just 2 weeks later, on a quiet Saturday morning, Claire returned. Standing at David's door, not with luggage, not with questions, just with a decision. "I thought I had nothing left," she whispered. "But I was wrong. I found everything that night in the rain. And I'm not walking away from that." David didn't say a word. He just stepped forward and held her. Sometimes, all someone needs is not a rescue, but a place to rest, to be seen, and to be reminded they still matter. Love doesn't always arrive with a grand gesture. Sometimes, it shows up quietly, in the form of a single dad, a cup of tea, and a little girl asking, "Why is she crying?"